the perennial vine secret. Grow food that comes back every year. So here's the thing. Most gardeners spend their seasons chasing the same exhausting cycle. Seeds are planted in spring, plants are babied through summer, and by fall, everything just fades away. Then the following year, the process begins again from scratch. Beds are rebuilt, soil is amended again, and new seeds are purchased. It's productive, sure, but honestly, it's also demanding. There is another way to grow food, one that older farming traditions relied on long before modern gardening became obsessed with perfectly organized rows. Instead of starting over every year, some crops establish themselves once and then continue producing season after season. Many of the most powerful examples of this strategy grow vertically rather than in the soil beds most gardeners focus on. Perennial vines transform fences, trellises, and garden edges into long-term food systems. Once established, these plants climb, spread, and produce harvests year after year with very little intervention. Some provide fruit, others offer leafy greens or protein-rich beans, and several even improve the soil while they grow. Before diving into these remarkable plants, take a moment to support the channel, like the video, share it with fellow gardeners, comment with your favorite climbing plant, and subscribe to Nature's Flora for more guides on sustainable growing and forgotten food crops. Now let's explore the vines that can turn ordinary garden structures into long-lasting sources of food. Cucamelon, adzonsoan spridzanzam. The tiny fruit with huge productivity. The plant known as cucamelon or Malathria scabra often surprises gardeners the first time they see it. The fruits look like miniature watermelons but taste more like crisp cucumbers with a subtle citrus tang. Despite the novelty appearance, this crop has been cultivated in Central America for centuries. Cucamelon vines grow quickly once temperatures warm, and they thrive when given something vertical to climb. A simple trellis, garden netting, or fence is enough to support them. What makes this plant so valuable is its resilience. Many common cucumber pests ignore it, and diseases that normally damage cucurbit crops rarely affect the vines. You know, just one plant can produce dozens upon dozens of fruits in a single season. In warmer climates, the underground tuber can actually survive through the winter and regrow the following year, which means gardeners may only need to plant it once. Tromboncino squash. The climbing alternative to zucchini, gardeners who struggle with squash pests often find relief in the Italian heirloom known as tromboncino. Botanically classified as Cucurbita moscata, this vigorous vine produces long, curved fruits that kind of resemble trumpets. Unlike many summer squashes, tromboncino develops thick, woody stems that resist destructive vine borers. The plant grows aggressively upward and can easily cover fences or tall trellises, freeing up ground space while producing an impressive harvest. The versatility of the fruit is another advantage. Harvested young, it functions like a tender summer squash similar to zucchini, but if you allow it to mature, it develops a firm flesh that stores well, just like winter squash. That dual purpose, honestly, makes the plant extremely efficient for small gardens. Malabar spinach, heat-loving greens that climb. Traditional spinach really struggles in hot weather, but the climbing green known as Basella alba just thrives in it. Often called Malabar spinach, this tropical vine produces thick, glossy leaves that keep on growing, even during intense summer heat. Instead of collapsing when temperatures rise, the vine actually accelerates its growth. With consistent harvesting, the plant keeps sending out new shoots and leaves throughout the season. Just a few vines on a trellis can supply a household with fresh greens during months when other leafy vegetables struggle. In warm regions, Malabar spinach also reseeds itself easily, allowing gardeners to maintain a steady supply year after year. Scarlet runner beans, beauty and protein in one plant. You know, there really aren't many climbing crops that blend ornamental beauty with food production quite as well as the scarlet runner bean, which is scientifically called Phaseolus coccineus. Its bright red flowers attract pollinators and hummingbirds, while the vines stretch high along trellises or poles. The harvest potential here is, honestly, pretty impressive. Young pods can be eaten just like green beans, mature pods provide these large shelling beans, and, well, Fully dried beans actually store well for long periods. At the same time, the plant enriches the soil by fixing nitrogen through its roots, which improves fertility for surrounding crops. And in many climates the roots can even survive mild winters, allowing the plant to return the following year. Chayote, the one-plant food machine. Among productive climbing vegetables, chayote stands near the top. The species Sequium grows into a powerful vine that can honestly produce enormous harvests once it's established. Planting is unusually simple because, well, the entire fruit becomes the seed. When placed partially in soil, it sprouts and sends out long climbing vines that quickly take over trellises or fences. Mature vines can produce dozens of pear-shaped fruits in a season. Beyond the fruit, the plant also provides edible shoots and underground tubers, making it, honestly, one of the most versatile perennial food vines available. Hyacinth bean, hardy and nutrient-rich. Another climbing crop valued for both food and beauty is the hyacinth bean, or Malabar purpureus. The vine grows rapidly in warm climates, often reaching heights of 15 feet in a single season. Deep purple flowers and pods make it visually striking, but the plant is also highly useful. Leaves, pods, and mature beans can all be harvested when prepared correctly. Its tolerance of drought and poor soil makes it especially valuable for gardeners working in difficult conditions. Forgotten native food vines. Several perennial vines have deep roots in traditional agriculture but are rarely grown today. One example is the American groundnut, Apios americana, once widely cultivated by indigenous communities in North America. This vine produces edible tubers, rich in protein, while also fixing nitrogen in the soil. Another remarkable climber is the native passionfruit, Flora incarnata. Its vines produce fragrant flowers and egg-sized fruits filled with sweet tropical pulp. The leaves and flowers have also been used traditionally for their calming properties. These plants demonstrate how historical food systems often relied on long-term perennial crops rather than constantly replanted annual gardens. The final vine worth knowing is Akebia quinata, commonly called the chocolate vine. Often planted purely as an ornamental climber, it produces unusual purple pods filled with sweet pulp when mature. Once established, the vine grows quickly and tolerates partial shade, making it useful for covering fences or walls where other edible plants might struggle. What connects all of these plants is their long-term productivity. Instead of replanting every season, gardeners create permanent food structures that keep producing with minimal effort. Fences become fruiting walls, trellises turn into vertical vegetable gardens, and unused spaces transform into living food systems. For gardeners seeking resilience, productivity, and efficiency, perennial vines offer one of the most overlooked strategies in home food production. If you found this guide helpful, support the channel by subscribing to Nature's Flora, sharing the video with fellow gardeners, and leaving a comment about which vine you would plant first. These plants can feed a garden for years, and the more people who rediscover them, the stronger our growing traditions become.